CBR has returned. Oh man,
there's arch nemesis.
Only a few returns people look for in life that they look forward to. There's the return of Jesus Christ.
Sure.
There is the return when you return something to Target and you didn't actually buy it there and they take it back and they give you your money.
Stonks.
And then there is the return of CBR, because CBR is always dropping the ball and I'm here to pick it up.
They give us some spicy content and we are more than welcome to marinate some content for you with it.
Also, by the way, I have nothing against CBR. I hope they don't actually think that I do. But it's just fun. So let's get right into it. There are going to be some spoilers in today's video about Justice League Apokolips War, the movie Justice League Dark Apokolips War. Can't forget that. Because CBR is here to tell you why the movie's actually not that good. And maybe I'm putting words in their mouth a little bit, but these are unanswered questions that they have. And to me, it seems very much like nitpicking to find things that are wrong with this movie because it's been widely considered one of the best in the universe. It seems very convenient that their criticisms are about this movie way after the fact. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, here's what their caption says. It says, Justice League Dark Apokolips War brings the DC AMU to an epic end, but not before leaving some weird questions behind.
Yeah, so they do give it credit.
It's credit, but it's also like, here's some things that are wrong with it almost.
Yeah, you know? it's almost, it's like negging, like we've talked about before. It's like, wow, those are some great shoes. Too bad your pants are way too tight and you look terrible. Yeah, that's what I feel like they're doing to this movie. So the first one that we have is an interesting criticism, which is actually the question, why is Lex Luthor a part of the League? And I will pose to you a very dumb answer to a dumb question. Why not? Just in the actual comics, Lex Luthor, his character is very interesting. He does flip-flop around a little bit. He never becomes fully good. He's also never really fully bad in a lot of ways because Lex Luthor thinks he's right. He thinks that a lot of what he's doing is for the greater good in most interpretations of the comics. And also he thinks that Superman is the one who's going to end up causing the most problems more than him. That's why he does what he does. He does eventually sort of stand in as a Superman replacement, especially in the New 52, and he has been shown to work with the League on multiple occasions over time. So my question is kind of, what's wrong with this? I mean, yes, Lex Luthor is a self-serving prick a lot of the times, but why can't he work with the League if he already thinks he's doing the greater good?
Well, that's his character. We've seen it even before with games like Injustice. He flip-flops. It's part of the story. You see it a lot in stories where he's a problem and then he's like, well, actually the whole world is in danger. I should probably help because I also am a part of the world and don't want to die. Then once that threat is gone, he goes back to being Lex Luthor. We've seen it before.
Yes.
So this isn't really a complicated thing. It's just a part of his character. It's something that you've seen in the past. It's not a new thing that happened in Apokolips War.
No.
I don't know.
And also, there really doesn't need to be a justification or explanation like they imply that there has to be. Because, well, one, the Watchtower is not even a secret base. Everybody knows about it. The world governments of the comics know about it for the most part. Lex Luthor definitely knows about it. It's not like they're letting him in and teaching him trade secrets. They are trying to unite all their forces that they can against Darkseid. Because their idea is that Darkseid will destroy the Earth. And spoiler alert, he does end up doing that. So it was a justified attempt to try and prevent that by bringing in someone else who's maybe not the best person ever to try and help. The next criticism, this one we will blow through super quickly. That's what she said. How did Darkseid get those invisible cameras? Because this is the dumbest thing ever. We know that Darkseid is watching through Cyborg. It's actually shown in the movie that he's watching through Cyborg's eyes, and he was able to basically tap into Cyborg and see what was happening ahead of time, which is how he's able to subvert their attack and totally wipe them out. That's it. There's nothing else at all. The angle of the view is insane and impossible. No, it's from Cyborg's eyes.
That's it.
The character.
Yeah.
That's it. We're moving on. There's nothing else to add to that. I feel
answered.
I feel like that's just a mistake. How does Superman live or survive with liquid kryptonite in his blood? Because as punishment for attacking the planet Apokolips, Darkseid fills Superman with his liquid kryptonite. You know, on certain orange YouTube sites, that might be considered a little, mean something else. But this, it's actual, liquid kryptonite is used to eliminate Superman's powers, make him normal, like you pointed out, and also torture him. So please tell me, how does he survive, T?
Because Darkseid wanted him to. That's it. I mean, what else do you know?
Wait. So are you saying that Darkseid designed this probably diluted kryptonite form in order to weaken him and make him hurt all the time and not kill him so that he'd suffer because that was the punishment? Is that what you're saying? And the movie tells us that?
That's correct, yes. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it says. Yeah.
And is there anything more to it than that?
Nope, that's it. Question answered. That's
literally
it.
Let's move on. Here's a really dumb one. How did Constantine and King Shark do the business? How did they, bow chicka wow wow? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, do you want a PowerPoint?
First off, who cares? I didn't know I was Leonardo da Vinci, basically showing you the anatomy of man.
Why do we need this?
But I don't understand this. And also, I get that the idea is, King Shark is a shark, blah, blah, blah. Literally, King Shark is a shark. But he can't only speak a single phrase anyway, because at the end, he does speak another phrase. So he's just been saying this the whole time and probably was capable of speaking other things. Just because he did this just because he did this over a long period of time doesn't mean that's all he could say. If I just started saying, Degenerate J is a guy, and that's all I said for the rest of my life, it doesn't mean I'm not capable of speaking other words.
No, it's just what you're saying.
And also, I don't really get the point. I mean, is the point that, not to sound like CBR is homophobic or something, but I don't know if part of the point is that one's an animal and one's a human. I mean, they're both guys, so I would assume that they would do it however any homosexual or bisexual two-male couple would do the business.
Just with an added shark fin.
Yeah, that's it.
Which honestly,
nice. And King Shark is still a humanoid shark. I mean, he's still got, legs, and I would assume the business down there and everything else. He's part shark, part man.
Okay.
Well, I've done some research.
Really?
So that's my idea of that. I don't really know how that works. I guess if you want more, you can, look it up online. Why did Lex Luthor double-cross the Suicide Squad? I don't even feel like I need to stay on that very long. That is Lex Luthor. He is a self-serving jerk who tries to do things for the greater good of the world, but at the end of the day, he's also doing it for the greater good of himself first.
That's his character. His character is his whole thinking is, I want to improve the Earth, but more so improve how I live on Earth. Is how it is.
I want to improve the Earth with me as its savior.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the idea. So the fact that he double-crosses someone, that's just standard Lex Luthor, like we talked about in a previous point.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I would like to let you sort of tackle this one, because what was with all the kryptonite? This one is hilariously confusing. Superman needs to get a power boost to counteract the liquid kryptonite in his veins, and the solution is to give him a suit filled with kryptonite. It's got bullets, lasers, and lining. Oh man, that's amazing.
I'm confused. I don't even understand. What's the question? Why is there so much kryptonite?
I guess the question,
they have kryptonite.
I guess the question is, why would Lex Luthor have kryptonite?
Oh my god. What do you mean? That's his whole purpose in life is to kill Superman. Yeah. So the fact that he has a stockpile, a treasure chest of kryptonite is standard. That feels almost standard to go with Lex Luthor. A lot of these these questions are around Lex Luthor. And
this is kind of weird. I feel like the author of this just tuned out whenever Lex Luthor showed up.
Yeah, it's like...
He was like, bald guy. Because they fell asleep.
And they haven't seen him in anything.
He's like, why is Mr. Clean in this movie? Yeah. I don't know what he was looking for here, but I just found
it... Is that Joe Rogan?
Very, very amusing. That guy's not wearing a mask. That's Joe Rogan. Yeah. Joe Rogan, we love you. I know you'll never watch this. You probably are doing way more important things with your life.
No doubt.
So why does Raven use only one spell? This one is actually a bit obnoxious.
It's easy. So Azarath, Metreon, Zinthos. That's how she summons the powers, right? That's how she summons her powers.
Yeah, unlocking her powers and casting spells.
And casting spells. After that, she does whatever she wants. You see it in anything related to Raven. That's what she does. She uses those 3 words. That's how she becomes, how she gets her power. And then she does whatever she wants with those powers. That's it.
Yeah, she's just basically unlocking the powers, and then she does whatever she wants. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's nothing more to it.
Yep, question answered.
Why did Constantine use the lasso of truth just once? Why not twice? Why not 3 times?
Oh my god.
What did you want?
How many numbers did you want?
Why didn't Constantine use the lasso of truth 420 times? Yeah. And the 69th of 100th other time?
I guess I'm confused. What were you looking for?
I don't know, because I guess their point is that Etrigan steps in to protect Constantine but dies because he's fighting Wonder Woman. And then Constantine uses a spell to whip Wonder Woman's lasso of truth around her and forces her to admit who she really is, which reverses the brainwashing. The question here is, why did he wait until after his friend caught a sword in the chest? Well, he was knocked down, first off. Mm-hmm. Like, he was basically incapacitated and was going to die. Etrigan jumped in and essentially got into this scuffle with her that lasted very briefly.
Yes,
and then she killed him immediately. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really a whole lot of time here for John Constantine to do much at all.
No, and is it implied that he knew that it would free her? Is that what's implied? Because maybe it was just a spring of the moment thing, where he was just like, well, what do I do? I'll grab this lasso here and try it.
Well, I'm sure he knew what the lasso of truth was, and it's magic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he had that plan going into the fight.
Right.
He very easily could have come up with it later. Mm-hmm. And so then it just comes down to, why didn't you think of it earlier?
Yeah.
I don't know, because he didn't.
That's it. Yeah.
That's like, how come every time somebody says something douchey to me and I have a comeback, it comes out of my mouth 3 hours later when I'm sitting by myself and I think I should have said that. I don't know. You just sometimes think of things a little after you want to. The end.
Yeah.
That's human beings. Yeah. We kind of suck. So, how did Superman grow his costume? How did he grow his costume? Okay, to be fair to them, yeah, that's not plausible completely. However,
take a step back. It's a animated Justice League movie. Any other questions?
No, I agree with you completely.
That's it.
I do think things should be
mostly
explainable. At the same time, though, you also see that he essentially grows a suit from the imagery of what Raven's father, Trigon.
Yes.
I was losing the word. I was going to say Triton for some reason. Yeah. But what Trigon summons, he essentially creates his own perverse, hellish version of the Superman costume. Mm-hmm. So then when Superman takes over, it reverts to the normal Superman costume. Mm-hmm. It doesn't necessarily mean Superman grew it. Trigon was a magic demon.
Well, and it could be implied, because didn't Superman show up with, he was just in normal clothes when he arrived on Apokolips? Couldn't he have had the Superman suit underneath? Is that possible?
Well, I think we see his chest anyways.
Oh, we do? Okay.
So I don't think he could have had it on underneath, but the thing is that...
Even if it grew, though.
Trigon created this thing. And so if you're accepting magic already, you're accepting magic in this reality as a facet of this reality.
Yes.
This person never questioned the magic existing in this reality, the author.
Which it does in the universe consistently.
Yes. So if Trigon, the magic demon from hell, created this costume, I don't understand how this costume couldn't revert back to a normal Superman costume when Superman takes over his own body and casts out Trigon. I don't know. Plus, also, it was done for a thematic element to show the archetype of the return of a savior figure, which is throughout a lot of media. It's done as this. It is almost like the Jesus coming back or the Gilgamesh type story where it's the savior or the hero returns when he needs to and saves the day, that kind of thing. It's been coming up for thousands of years as an archetype in stories, forever and ever. I don't understand why we're still questioning that archetype.
Yeah.
It's just something that's been done 1,000 times and it works and they keep doing it.
I agree.
The final thing, what happened to the Mobius Chair? This one's silly. We rewatched the end of this movie. Nothing happened to the Mobius Chair.
No, it was there the whole time. This question, so Batman starts and he gets up when Darkseid said, all right, go ahead and attack Damian. So he does. He gets up and he says, Mobius Chair, do alpha, beta, whatever attack. It goes and attacks everyone else. Constantine, Superman, Raven. Goes and does that and is shooting them. Batman and Damian are fighting on the side. After that is done and Batman sticks a sword through Damian's leg, we then cut back and they're still getting shot at by the Mobius Chair.
Yep.
Then, after Batman has a flashback and switches back and actually gets his mind right again, it turns... And maybe the question is, why is the chair... You see the chair still, and it's aimed at everyone, but it's not shooting at them still.
Well, that is their question, is why did he have to tell it to attack, but then he didn't have to tell it not to, and then he didn't use it again. But the thing is, he never wanted the Mobius Chair. Batman didn't want those powers. He didn't want to be a part of the Mobius Chair. The Mobius Chair would not have defeated Darkseid. There was no point for him to use it. Mm-mm. None. I just don't see the point that they're trying to get at here. What would the Mobius Chair have done?
Yeah, what did you want it to do? Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe the point was to, I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm confused by it. Because it seemed like the point of it was to give cover fire while he was, because it wasn't moving and chasing them around. They were just hiding behind blocks.
Yeah, it was to prevent them from interfering as he killed Damian.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that was it. Because I believe, didn't Damian die at that point?
Yes.
So he dies. The chair has then fulfilled its purpose. Maybe that's it. Maybe that explains it.
Yeah, it fulfilled the command.
Yeah.
I don't know either. But, and that's the thing is, I do think that there's a couple of these questions that are fine to ask. Like the Mobius Chair question, okay, I get
reasonable.
It's a reasonable question. The Superman growing his suit back, fine. If you really want to nitpick the movie, you can ask those questions. But not to just say it's a superhero movie, get over it. But at the end of the day, you're trying to find things that are wrong with it versus naturally finding them. I mean, you watch a movie like Justice League versus Teen Titans, you can naturally find some stuff wrong with that without looking for it.
Yes.
That's the difference between something like this, in my opinion, and just naturally coming across those things.
It seems like they did a lot of stretching and reaching to get to 10 things.
Yes.
You could maybe get 5. There's maybe 5 things that you could find that are like reasonable questions that are like, well, that was kind of weird. What about this? Not great questions, but they're questions.
Yep.
To get to 10, there was 3 really dumb Lex Luthor questions. There wasn't a lot of...
Well, and by the way, that's why I don't really do top 10s almost ever. I think I've done 1 or 2 ever, if even, and they were a long time ago. And the reasoning for doing 5 is I think it's a lot easier to pick out a list of talking about 5 things. And if you miss one, oh, well, that sucks. You can always bring it up later in something else. But if you have to hit 10... like that's a mandatory requirement for your list, you're picking out little things to try and find details. If I was to say 10 things wrong with Marvel Spider-Man, I'm not going to find 10 things unless I really dive in there and piss people off and just nitpick them. Why does Spider-Man lean to the left when he punches? Right. It's stuff that's not important, doesn't matter, and doesn't add anything to that piece of fiction.
You're just milking it at that point.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not helpful. It's really not giving anything as far as... it's not providing good content.
No, but I'm glad CBR provides me content.
It's great, and we're big fans.
Well, so that we can react to it and give our take and, improve the site over time.
No doubt.
Watch. Years from now, CBR will punish me with liquid kryptonite as I type away slavily for their site.
Yeah, dude.
Like writing things about how great they are. Yeah. Write us an article, slave, like Darkseid. So hey, let us know what you think in the comments down below. What are your opinions on this movie and on these questions? Let us know what you're thinking down there. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content like this in the future. And check out the description where we've got many things. We have got the Patreon where you can help me out because I'm a poor boy slowly starving to death and I need your help to live. No, I'm just kidding, but you can help us down there if you want to. That's really nice, and we do appreciate our patrons every month. We have got the Discord where you can join a society of gamers where, hey, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. We want you there. The Twitter, the Instagram, the Reddit. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day and stay shway.